Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to find peace and calm in just 60 seconds. I'll also be sharing 3 lessons that I learned along my journey that really helped me to ground myself in peace. So be sure to stay till the end of the video as I'll be guiding you through an awareness exercise that will have you experience this directly for yourself. So let's dive in. Lesson number 1, we're always connected to peace even if we don't think we are. This was the first insight that I had, which was really helpful, because I had always thought peace was something out there that I had to acquire. I had to discipline myself or develop myself in a way that would have me be able to live with peace of mind. I didn't realize that peace was already my nature, my default state, and I was doing things with my mind that took me away from peace. Right? So this is what we all do. We think and think again and think again and end up overthinking everything. Right? So there was a study in 2024 by the University of Southern California that said the average person has about 70,000 thoughts a day. So that's around 48 thoughts a minute. So we have to deep that, because there's a psychological truth that states that we only ever feel our thinking. If we're feeling our thoughts, if we're experiencing our thinking, then that means we only have 12 seconds every minute where our mind is calm and at peace. 12 seconds every minute, right? The other 48 seconds, we're thinking something. It's important to notice that just 60 seconds of finding peace, that's 5 times what we would normally experience. 5 times just for a minute. Even with 70,000 plus thoughts a day, it does not once disconnect us from the peace that we have within us, right? We always have peace of mind, except when we're entertaining thought. It's like the sky, right? No matter what weather is happening throughout the day, there is always clear skies. There are always clear skies beyond the weather. And that's similar with our minds. There is always peace beyond thought. Lesson number 2, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, and therefore you don't need fixing. This was a huge one for me. I hadn't realized that delving into self-improvement and personal development since 2010, right? So this was about a decade of being immersed in self-improvement. I hadn't realized that underlying that search or that seeking was a misunderstanding that I needed improving. And it wasn't so much, that my skills couldn't be improved. Of course, all skills can be improved. All performance can be improved. But deep down, there was a belief that my identity needed improving, needed to be better. And that's a false premise and a misunderstanding, right? So this connects to the first lesson, right? It's all connected. But understanding that we're always connected to peace, and all that we're ever feeling or experiencing is thought in the moment, right? We're not experiencing the world out there, circumstances, events, people, right? We're only ever feeling our thinking. Now, you may have heard that before, but this is a radical shift in understanding. If you see 100% of your feelings are coming only from thought, that's the only place it can come from, thought, you start to see the illusion in everything that you're believing, right? And you start to see that the world isn't as fixed or isn't as solid as you think it is. It's almost like a dream. When you're having a dream, and when you start to wake up in the dream, you start to notice that it's not as real as you're experiencing it to be, right? And then you start to gain some sort of control back. So I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. I want you to see for yourself. I want you to test it for yourself. I want you to see if what I'm saying is true. Are you feeling something that's going on outside of you, or are you feeling you're thinking about the thing that's going on outside of you? Right? Just notice that. And notice that whatever you're feeling, if you changed your thought and you thought about something else, what happens to the feeling? This will teach you. Your own life will teach you about what I'm saying. So the reason that's an important foundation to understand is because a lot of the people that I speak to who don't understand this yet who don't understand where their feelings are coming from, whenever they have intense emotions that tend to continue for long periods of time, when they don't understand what's happening, they think there's something wrong with them. They think that they're fundamentally broken in some way because other people aren't experiencing this, and therefore they go to find ways to fix themselves. And what I'm proposing is that all that's ever going on is a misunderstanding of where their feelings are coming from. Now, if you understood that when you feel anxious, when you feel stressed, when you feel sad, when you feel depressed, if you saw and realized that this was an experience of the thought that you were having in the moment, then there would be nothing to do. Right? Because the nature of thoughts is that they come and go. Right? No thought stays there. It's like the clouds passing through the sky. No cloud just stays there. Right? It may look like it, it may seem like it, but they're always moving. They're always passing through. And that's the same with thought. Now, if what I'm saying is true, and it is, that we're feeling our thought, then no feeling can stay the same or be permanent, because no thought is permanent. When I say it may seem that way, the reason that's true is because we keep thinking the same thought. Right? So if we're having 70,000 thoughts a day, averagely, it's said that about 80% of them are the same thoughts as the day before. So this is showing a repetitiveness or a rethinking of old thoughts over and over again. So we keep experiencing those thoughts over and over again. So there's nothing to fix about yourself, right? Because you're not broken. There's just something to understand about the mind and the nature of thought. Because what I found is when I started to see this nature of thought, all the emotions that I had, they passed through my system so much quicker. I wasn't believing that there was something that I had to do to resolve it. You can't resolve thought. Thought is just an activity of the mind. It's like if there was a movie playing on the TV, like there's nothing to do about the movie to solve what's going on in the movie. It's just a movie. And we can switch off the movie if we wanted. Right? And focus on something else. Right? So there's nothing to do about thought. You can't solve thought. Right? You can simply allow it and let it go. Right? Because what most of us do is we hold on to thought, or we stay focused on certain thoughts. So all we can really do is just stop that, right? AKA letting it go. Lesson 3, to experience peace, you simply need to put your attention there. So where is it there? Where do I put my attention, Ryan? So let's go back to the sky analogy. You could be looking at the weather, or you can be focused on noticing the clear sky beyond the weather, right? And what tends to happen is, sometimes when it's cloudy or overcast, every now and then you see like a break in the clouds and you see something blue, right? It's the sky. And there is a space in between thoughts. So every thought that we have, at some point it ceases and there's a space. That space is where you want to put your attention. That space is what you want to notice, right? You could say it's in between thoughts. You can say it's behind thoughts, right? The ever-present backdrop, right? Where thoughts come and go. It's always there, right? It's always present. And even now, if you notice as you're listening to me, there's breaks in between the words that I'm speaking. And in between those breaks, there is silence. Right? So there's this peace and calmness in between the thoughts, in between my words. And that's what we want to notice, right? So if you're listening to me, what you're typically noticing, or what we typically notice when we listen to people, is the words that they're speaking, right? We're not listening out for the gaps, right? Because we're trying to hear what they're saying, right? Hear what they're saying, right? Not hear what they're not saying, right? So either our attention is on the thinking that we have going on in the mind, or it's on the space beyond that. So let's have you experience what I'm talking about directly. I'm going to guide you through this awareness exercise. I learned this a few years ago when I was doing a philosophy course. I think it was for like 10 weeks in London by the School of Philosophy and Economic Science. I believe that's what it's called. Basically, the school of philosophy. And one of the first exercises they taught us was the awareness exercise. And I found it so effective and quick at having me experience the peace that they were constantly pointing to. It was the quickest thing that I had come across, because before then I was meditating, and usually, they would always recommend to meditate for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, a couple hours, and I was never really drawn to meditating for that long. So for the busy people or the people who just can't sit for that long, this exercise should be really, really helpful for you. So it's only going to take 60 seconds, right? 1 minute. So, and I will guide you through this. You will need to close your eyes for most of it. So if you're driving, maybe don't do this right now. If you're operating heavy machinery, still don't do this right now. Save this video to watch later when you're in a safer space and you have time to actually sit down and do this. But if you are in a safe space right now and you have 60 seconds, then let's go through this now. So I want you to start by closing your eyes. And first, find a balanced position of the body, right? Whether you're sitting down on your chair, on the sofa, laying down on the bed. Right. Let the mind be free of any concern or preoccupation. Right. Just let the body be still. Be aware of where you are now. Feel the touch of your feet on the ground, the weight of your body on the chair. Feel the touch of the clothes on your skin. Feel the air on your face. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? Be aware of the sense of smell and the sense of taste. Be fully here. Right now, be aware of hearing. What do you hear in the room? Let sounds come and go without any comment. And let the hearing extend right out to the furthest and gentlest sounds, embracing them all. Simply rest in this awareness for a few moments. Now open your eyes. So, I didn't time it, but that was roughly a minute. And let me check in with you. How are you feeling now? Do you feel more calm and more peaceful, or less calm and less peaceful? If you're like most people who go through this exercise, you feel more peaceful, right? And this was just 60 seconds, becoming present and noticing the peace that's already there, right? And the way we did that, the way we came to the present moment, was through all of our senses, right? So it's really handy to understand that all of our physical senses, right? See, hear, smell, taste, touch. See, hear, smell, taste, touch. Yeah. All of our senses, they only function in the present moment. So anytime we're caught up in overthinking, in overwhelm, in any sort of intense negative emotion, in those moments we're not present. Okay, we're caught up in thought or mind activity, and this is a great way to pull ourselves back into the present moment, to ground ourselves back into the present moment. And the way you can do that is just by noticing any of your senses. All of these bring us back to the present moment. And in the present moment is the only place where you can experience peace. Spiritual teachers have been speaking about this for thousands of years. And it's that simple. It really is that simple. And the more you practice it, the more you see the simplicity of it. I once learnt this from one of my teachers, Sydney Banks, where he said, truth is simple. So the closer we move to truth, the simpler things get. The further away we move from truth, the more complex things get. So let this be an indicator that we're moving closer toward truth. When things become simple, we're closer to truth. So I hope you found that helpful. I would love to hear what your experience was in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful to you, like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video.